Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Mayday, and this is from writer-director Karen Cinorre, and focuses on a young woman, Anna, who is transported to a dreamlike place where she joins a group of dangerous young women who are fighting a never-ending war, kind of leading men to their dooms while they're in ships and submarines and stuff like that. Very much a siren's tale, if you want to put it that way. And this film is starring Grace Van Patten, who previously I've been talking about recently with her role on the 9 Perfect Strangers. She was a part of the Meyerowitz stories, The Sopranos, Under the Silver Lake, and you also have Mia Goth, who has popped up in quite a few things recently, like Suspiria and Cure for Wellness and Emma and High Life, of all things. And this film has an interesting idea. This young woman is like whisked away. She like opens up an oven and hears these calls from like some kind of radio, and she's like whisked away into this land. And this has like Peter Pan kind of vibes. It has like a Wizard of Oz kind of thing, like getting whisked away into this specific place. And you have this group of young women who all have bits of personality. It's like they have specific looks to them. They all stand out in that way a bit. And you have some solid performances from this mostly young cast. You do have like Juliette Lewis, who pops up in this film as well. And there's some inspired storytelling and inspired sequences that do some interesting things and portray like certain themes or ideas or narrative points in a creative kind of way that stand out to the audience. But when it really comes down to it, it's like I don't feel like this really adds up to more than just, it had a cool concept, it has some solid performances, but in the end it feels like a pretty derivative, just kind of, you get whisked away to a fantasy world and you learn a life lesson and you go home. Very much that Alice in Wonderland idea. And I don't feel like the specific things, like the stylistic choices or some of the storytelling elements, really add up to more than elevating this pretty standard affair. I do think the idea of the whole like siren type possession that these young women find themselves in was a potentially really interesting idea, but I don't know if they really did anything unique or interesting with it. It's just, there it is. They have some tense and unnerving moments as, they're whisking these men away to their dooms. And, it's interesting because some of the storytelling, it's like you just hear from the other end of the radio of what's going on. And I thought some of those subtler kind of choices were interesting instead of like, you didn't have to show everything. And this film doesn't do that. But I don't know if I really liked this movie. I don't know by the end I really felt like I had an enjoyable experience watching it or a deeply meaningful experience watching it, or I definitely don't feel like I had emotional attachment to this particular film. I feel like in the end, it's just something that, this was here, you experienced it, it had some ideas, it had some great young talent, and, you just kind of file it away in the back of your brain and maybe not really think about it much afterwards. Because I don't know if I'm going to be really thinking about Mayday a whole lot after watching it. But, it has some interesting elements, and I think some people get engrossed in this interesting idea, and they might have some fun with it. I don't know if I had too much fun with it, but it's there, it's solid, it accomplished some things. But those are my thoughts on Mayday. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.